Welcome to this Brain Wellness Program yoga class. My name's Vanessa, and the props that you will need today are yoga blocks. So I'm sitting on a block. This is what a yoga block looks like. An alternate would be some thick books, possibly cans of soup, anything that's quite secure, a short stool. You'll need a yoga strap, something that isn't elastic. So if you don't have a strap, a bathrobe belt or a leash or rope might work. You'll also need a yoga bolster or blankets. So behind me here is a bolster that is long enough to go for the full length of my spine and head. So you could use pillows, cushions. A bunch of folded up blankets are also a good alternative, something thick to have our spine supported at the end. And we'll also be using a chair. So you can see I have a chair in the background with a blanket over the back, or a towel would work. Something that has a back that comes partway up is ideal for our chair poses. So we'll start our practice in sitting with hips higher than knees. You could be kneeling like I am. You could be cross-legged. You could use props for our opening, using them under your knees to make your lower body comfortable. You could even be sitting in the chair, sitting at the front of the chair so that your back is not leaning against the chair behind you. And as always, remember, this is your practice. And it's important to tune into what feels right in your body today. So it may be that you need to modify. Please do so. You can skip poses. You could also pause the recording at any point in time if you needed to make adjustments. So do what's right for you. That's part of the practice of yoga, is really honoring and becoming aware of our bodies and where we're at. So we'll start our practice in sitting, hips higher than knees, palms up on thighs. And as you breathe in, lift your shoulders up towards your ears. And as you exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together and down. Another inhale, lifting the shoulder blades up. Exhaling around and down. And for our third round, just gently close the eyes or soften the gaze in front of you. Inhaling, lift the shoulder blades up. Exhaling, squeezing them together and down. And now take a moment to turn and look over your right shoulder, keeping the eyes closed. As you inhale, lift the left shoulder up. Exhale, squeeze it back and down. And pause here to just notice the opening that you feel in the side of your neck. Inhale, turn your head forward. Exhaling, turn to look over the left shoulder. And as you inhale, lift the right shoulder up. As you exhale, lower it back down. Pause here again, noticing the open feeling in the side of your neck. Inhale, come back to center. Keep the eyes closed and tune inward. As you exhale, drop the hips downward. Let the lower body get heavy. On your next in-breath, lengthen the spine and your waist, keeping the hips rooting down but lifting the spine upward. Exhaling, drop the shoulder blades down the back. As you inhale, lengthen the back of your neck, gently tucking the chin. And as you exhale, soften your face and jaw. Release any tension or creases in the forehead. And just notice how your posture feels with all those adjustments. And take a nice, slow, deep inhalation. And a soft, gentle exhalation. Bring your hands up beside your ears for mental centering, about an inch away from them and not touching. Fingertips are pointing upwards, hands are closed. Breathe in with the hands in stillness. And as you exhale, your hands move and follow that out breath around the head until the palms connect in front of your face with the thumbs at the level of your eyebrows. With the hands together, breathe in. And exhaling, lower the hands along with your inner gaze down the line of your spine until the base of your thumbs reach your breastbone, and pause there. Bring your hands beside your ears. Inhale, creating space and openness. Exhaling, moving the hands forward, gathering the energy of the mind and bringing your focus and attention between the palms. Pause to breathe in. Exhaling, lowering the hands, connecting the mind and body. And pause here. Bring your hands beside your ears. Pause on the breath in. Exhaling, sweeping the palms forward. Breathe in with the palms together. And as you exhale, imagine that you're connecting here between your mind, your body, and that inner sense of self at the heart center. Join me for one soft to open the class. Inhaling. Exhaling, tuck your chin, lengthen the back of your neck. Inhaling, lift your head, release your hands, and gently open the eyes. Bring your left hand to the side, walk your fingertips away from you, and then send your ear towards your shoulder, creating length in the side of your neck. Inhale, come back to center, and we'll switch sides. So bringing the opposite hand down to the mat, walking the fingertips away, and then bringing your ear towards your shoulder. Feeling that opening here in the side of the neck. No force, just notice that sensation of stretch. Come back to center. And then bring the palms up out to the side. Reach the arms overhead, interlace your fingers and turn the palms upwards, straightening the arms, lifting the spine up, keeping your hips rooting down, and then let the chin come forward so the head and neck are relaxed. Really press up through the palms, opening the shoulders and the armpits, widening the bottom of the ribs. One more breath here. Exhaling, slowly releasing the arms down. And when the fingertips reach the mat, lifting the chin upward. Again, no force or discomfort in yoga. So really honor where your body's at and notice those differences right to left. So keep those hips rooting down and turn to look over your shoulder. Inhale back to center, and then coming to the opposite side. Coming back to center, come off your block into Dandasana with your legs out straight. If you find this hard on your lower back or you find that you're curving, then put some height under your hips, those blankets, the cushion, whatever you need to help have a straight back. And then press the backs of the legs down into the mat, contracting your thigh muscles, waking up the knees, getting the circulation going. And then bring the soles of your feet together into Badakanasana. Again, spine needs to be straight and lifting upward. So you can have, again, some height under your hips. Hands can be around your ankles. They could also be at the sides. Just make sure the shoulder blades stay down. Press the outside edges of your feet together and notice how that opens the hips a little bit more. Reach the toes towards the mat. One more breath here. And then bring your hands outside your knees and draw your knees together. And we're going to come onto our back. You'll need to have your strap nearby. So coming flat onto your back, heels together. Reach your arms overhead so the backs of your hands are on the floor behind you or wherever your shoulders allow you this morning. Exhaling, reach the heels away from fingertips and really lengthen the back of your body onto the mat. And as you inhale, let that release. You can leave your arms overhead or bring them down to your sides if they're not comfortable. We're going to do a few ankle opening exercises. So as you exhale, point and flex your feet, moving your ankles through as much movement as you can and letting the rest of your body just rock along. Pause. And now move the ankles together with the big toes drawing a circle on the ceiling above you clockwise. Really getting through as much movement in the ankles as you can. Our ankles are really helpful for balance. Pause with the toes pointing upward. And now rotating the ankles counterclockwise in large circles. Now bring the palms out to the side. Your arms are in a T. We're going to start with a straight leg raise stretch. So lift your left leg up and put the heel between the big and second toe of your right foot. Knees are extended. Bring your right hand onto your left shoulder. Inhaling, lift the belly up. As you exhale, drop your feet to the right and look over your left straight arm. Inhale, come back to center. Bring your arms back to a T, heels together. Bring your right leg between the big and second toe of your left foot. Bring your left hand onto your right shoulder. Inhaling, lift the belly towards your chest. And as you exhale, drop your feet to the left as you look over the right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Arms in a T, heels together. And bend your left knee so your foot is either on your shin or on your thigh, anywhere on your leg except on top of your knee. Reach the opposite arm across. So reach your right hand to the outside of your left knee. As you exhale, drop your knees to the right while you look to the left in a bent leg twist. No force here. There should be no discomfort in the back at all. The shoulder blades stay on the mat. Inhaling, come back to center. Heels together, arms in a T. Bend the right leg now, placing your foot on the left. Left arm comes across so your hand is on the outside of your right knee. As you exhale, drop your knees to the left while you look to the right. Again, notice any differences you might have right to left. Notice you might feel the opening a little higher up in the spine. Inhale back to center. Arms to the side, heels together. And now bend the right knee in, hugging it, either bringing your hands behind the knee or on top of the shin, whichever works for you. And if you want to add on a little bit here, gently lift the shoulder blades off the mat, keeping the back of the neck long as you reach your chin towards your knee. Lower the head and shoulders if you lifted them. Release the leg back down. And bend the opposite leg in, hugging either behind the thigh or on the shin, bringing the knee in as close to your chest as you can. And if you did so on the other side, lift your shoulder blades up, keeping the back of the neck long, chin towards knee. Lower the head and shoulders. Extend the legs so heels are together. And then bend both knees in, hugging them nice and close to the chest, making yourself into as small of a ball as you can. And maybe even gently rocking a little side to side to massage the lower back. Release the head and shoulders down. Extend the legs. And now take your strap for our Supta Patakusasana, or straight leg raise stretch. Bending your knee, bringing the strap around the bottom of your foot, wrapping the strap around your right wrist and holding it between your thumb and second finger. Your shoulder stays on the mat, your elbow is extended, and your knee is straight. The left leg is straight on the mat unless you need to bend it if your lower back is uncomfortable. Now, in this position, really press the thigh into the back of the leg. Open in the back of the right thigh. Reach the heel upwards. No force here. Our hamstrings are often very tight. We'll be here for a few breaths. And if this is not working for you, one option, if your leg is a little lower, is to still hold each end of the strap in your hands. The other thing you can do is have your heel up against a wall, and a door frame works really well, so that you're at the point for you where you feel that stretch in the back of the thigh. In the last couple of breaths, without force, bring your toes a little closer towards your head to deepen the stretch. Bend your knee to slowly release the strap, bringing your heels together and noticing the difference in your legs and how they feel. Bending the left leg up now, bringing the strap around the bottom of the foot, wrapping the strap around the wrist, holding it between the thumb and second finger. Right leg is straight. Reach both toes up towards your head and tune into the opening in the back of the thigh. Keep this quadricep contracted. Press the knee towards the back of the leg. Reach the heel upward. Take easy, slow breaths. Your neck should be relaxed here. Chin tightly slightly tucked. And for the last two breaths, slowly bring the toes a little closer up if you can, if that's working for you to deepen the stretch. Then bend your knees to release the strap, bringing the heels together. Bring your strap off to the side. Bend both knees so your feet are flat on the mat, and we're going to turn to come up into sitting. So knees bent. Turn onto your side. Then press into your hand to come up into sitting. And we'll move into hands and knees. Have 2 blocks at the head of your mat. You may want to have the chair as another option. So if you would like, you can bring the chair to the head of your mat. And we'll start on hands and knees. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And we'll flow with the breath here. If that's not working for you today, don't panic. Just keep normal, relaxed breathing. And the focus today is opening our shoulders, opening the front of the chest and the upper back. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, pressing the toes into the mat. As you exhale, round the spine, scooping the belly up, let the head and neck be heavy. Create space between those shoulder blades. As you inhale, look forward, drop the shoulder blades down. Open the front of the chest. Now, as you exhale, bring your hands onto your blocks ahead of you or onto your chair if that's more comfortable. And send the hips back so that we're opening the shoulders. This is extended puppy pose. So you can be here with hands on blocks. Hands could be on the mat if that works for you, or you could be with hands on the chair and just lengthening again the spine, reaching the hips away from hands and opening the front of the chest and shoulders. One more breath here. Bring the hands back under the shoulders, come up onto hands and knees, and exhaling round the spine again, dropping head, lifting belly. Inhale, look forward, bring the shoulder blades down, opening the front of the chest. Bring the hands forward as you exhale, send hips away from hands, bringing chest towards the mat and opening the front of the shoulders. Hands come under shoulders, press up onto hands and knees. Exhaling, rounding the spine, dropping the head. Inhaling, shoulder blades come together, chest forward. Hands come forward as you exhale, reach hips away from hands, opening again the front of the chest and shoulders. Bring hands under shoulders. Come up onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes, walk the hands forward. Bend the hips and knees, bringing palms together. Inhaling, sweep up to stand. Turn the palms away and exhaling, hands to the side. Now opening the shoulders. We'll start with Garudasana. You bring the arms into goal pose, so elbows at 90 degrees, palms facing each other. Bring right elbow over left, and then aim to bring the palms together. Now, if you don't have that amount of movement available to you, use the strap, and then inch your hands towards each other on the strap. Otherwise, you bring the fingers to the palms, forearms in front of you, rounding and spreading those shoulder blades away from each other behind your back. And as you exhale, lower the elbows down. So really back of the shoulder, upper back opening here. Gently release to unwind, and we'll switch sides. So hands and goalposts. Now bringing left elbow over right. And then either use the strap, slowly moving the hands towards each other, or if you're able, connect the fingers of the bottom hand with the palm of the top hand. Forearms in line with your spine. Round the upper back, spread the shoulder blades, and then gently lower the elbows down. One more breath here. And then gently unwind. Taking the strap now, bring it over your right wrist and hold the tails between the thumb and second finger. Bend your elbow, patting the back of your shoulder, keeping the forearm forward and close to your head. Left hand palm turned behind you, thumb down. Bend your elbow to reach the bottom of the strap. If this is, again, too intense for you, you can just keep that hand at the back of your hip. Otherwise, you're holding both ends of the strap and you're pulling the strap away from each other. So the top elbow reaches up, the bottom shoulder comes down and in. And again, no force here. So only go with what's right for you. And slowly over time, you work your hands closer towards each other along the strap. Feel the opening in the front of the shoulder. Again, back shoulder down and in. Then gently unwind and release. And we'll switch sides. So bringing the strap over the left wrist, holding it between the thumb and second finger. Bending your elbow to pat your shoulder behind you, keeping the upper arm close to your head. Right arm, thumb down, palm behind you. Bend the elbow to reach the bottom of the strap. Holding the strap firmly in both hands. Reach the top elbow upward so that shoulder blade moves away. The bottom shoulder comes down and in. Slowly move the hands towards each other, again without force. So only go to the point where it feels like it's opening but not painful. One more breath here. And then gently release. And now we're going to move on to our chair. Okay, so we'll take your chair, have a towel or a blanket over the back of the chair. And so what we're opening here is the upper back between the shoulder blades that often gets rounded as we get older. And it's very important for this pose, again, to really tune into and only go to the point that feels right for you. An option to this pose would be to do the same version lying flat on your mat. You could roll a towel up and put it between the shoulder blades and raise your arms overhead. So in this pose, we're going to come towards the end of the chair. Your head and neck are supported. You should not feel dizzy at all in this pose. We lean back so that the back of the chair is somewhere in between those shoulder blades. Bring your hands behind your head and interlace them to support the weight of your head with your elbows forward. So your hands are really just taking the weight and supporting the head and neck so that your head and neck are relaxed and not doing any of the work here. As you exhale, you slowly lean back, just extending the upper back over the chair and going really slowly just to the point that feels right for you, where you notice the front of the chest feels like it's open and the upper back is gently arching and reversing that curve. Engage your belly muscles as you come out of the pose. And then release the hands and sit forward. So again, option to repeat in the exact same way. If that's not feeling right for you, lie on your mat, have a towel rolled up under the shoulder blades, and just work by extending the arms overhead. What's nice with this one is you can adjust your position on this, of your back anywhere along the back of the chair. So this time you may choose to come a little bit lower. Again, make sure that you're not on your neck here. It's always between the shoulder blades. Bring the hands behind your head, interlace them with the elbows forward. Exhaling, slowly extend over the back of the chair. Keeping the gaze forward. You should see your elbows, and the weight of your head is supported by your hands. The neck should not be doing any work here. This is an opening of the middle of the back or your thoracic spine. One more breath here. Slowly coming out of the pose, use your abdominal muscles, bringing the elbows forward, and then coming up into sitting. So we've worked on a little opening there, and now we're going to move into strengthening through that movement we've just gained. Take your strap and make it in a loop that is roughly shoulder distance apart, maybe a little bit smaller. And we'll have the strap behind our backs, hands in the loops with fingertips pointing towards the floor and thumbs pinching the strap. We're working into strengthening with range of motion here. If this is awkward for you, you could do it without the belt. That's an option as well, focusing on squeezing the shoulder blades together. So from this position, we start by squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then lift your arms behind you. Press the outer edges of your hands away from each other and into the strap. That will tighten the muscles at the back of the shoulder. They get weak over time. And then release and see if you can lift your hands a little further behind you. Press into the back of your hands, into the belt. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then as you release, bring the hands back down. And we'll repeat that pose again. So bring the shoulder blades together, squeeze them, press the hands away from each other and into the outer edges of the strap. Feel the muscles at the back of the shoulder and upper back working. And then release that pressure outward and lift the arms behind. And one more time from this angle, press the hands outward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then exhaling, release back down. So really good shoulder strengthening there. So now we're moving onto the mat, onto our stomachs. And again, working through the movement that we've just gained over the chair and working into both strengthening and opening. So we'll start on our bellies. If you stack your hands on top of each other, you'll be able to put your forehead comfortably on your hands. You could also use a blanket if you would like a little extra height. That's an option. And some of you may also feel like you want a little extra support under the hips. You could put a blanket under the hips for this one as well. So try with those different options and see what works for you. The first pose is going to be Cobra Pose. So this is more of an opening than a strengthening. We bring our hands so that our forearms are under our shoulders, hands and palms flat on the mat. Drop the tailbone towards the feet and press all toes down into the mat. There should be no discomfort in the lower back here. Okay, so if you do feel any, come down a little bit lower. And think here about opening the front of the chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and slide the palms closer towards you, elbows in. Gently release, coming down onto the mat, stacking your hands and letting the forehead rest. I'm going to remove this blanket for me. And we'll repeat that pose. It's also known as Cobra Pose. So bring the palms onto the mat, elbows under shoulders. Lift the belly up as you raise the chest to look forward. Keep the tailbone reaching towards the toes and keep the belly lifting. That helps protect the lower back. Knees should be pointing downward, toes into the mat. Pull the hands and the elbows towards you to open the front of the chest a little bit more, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And pause here. Slowly lowering back down by stacking your hands on top of each other, bringing the forehead to rest. So options here, we're moving into strengthening. So if that doesn't feel right for you, you can repeat Cobra Pose. Otherwise, we're moving into Sarpasana or Serpent Pose. So we bring our hands so that the palms are facing the hips. And we gently lift the head and shoulders up off the mat. It's a very small movement. We're strengthening the upper back here, the back of the shoulders, and unwinding that curve of the upper back. Watch that your neck isn't straining here. And then stack the hands on top of each other and release the forehead back down. Let everything go soft. We'll repeat either Sarpasana or Cobra. So bringing your hands to your sides, gently lifting the shoulders off the mat. And if you want to add on here, interlace your hands behind you and squeeze those shoulder blades together and downward, reaching the hands towards the feet. Keep the belly lifting, opening the front of the chest. No tension in the neck here. Slowly release the hands, stack them on top of each other. Bring forehead to your hands and let everything be soft. Bringing your hands under your shoulders, pressing up into sitting. And this is where you'll need your bolster prop or your cushions or your blanket stacked on top of each other, coming behind you on the mat. And you may want to have extra blankets or props handy, also your blocks. You may be wanting for this next pose as well. So you're going to be sitting so that your legs are out straight. The bolster comes right into the back of your hips, so the bottom of your spine. Then we're slowly going to lean back over the bolster. Bring your legs a little bit apart to wherever that's comfortable for you. If you need support under your knees for your lower back, you can do that as well. So lower body is releasing down. Spine is fully supported. If you need a little extra support under your neck, you could roll up a blanket under your head, add a little bit under the back of your head. You want to be in a position that you can be really comfortable and releasing downward. Now, before we move into Shavasana with eyes closed, we're going to just add on a little bit of opening through the shoulders here. So reach the arms up overhead, letting the hands come towards the floor. If they don't quite touch, that's okay. Just feel the opening in the armpits and notice that this also stretches through the bottom of the ribs and the diaphragm which attaches to them. That's a big breathing muscle. Take a few relaxing breaths. Just letting the arms move downward. If the tension feels too much, you can put blocks under the back of your arms so that your hands have something to rest on. And now release the arms back down to the sides. And we're going to move into another chest opening called Cowboy Surrender. So you may again want to have your blocks nearby for support. We bring the palms facing each other and then bend the elbows to 90 degrees, moving the palms to face your feet, letting the elbows come downwards towards either the blocks or the floor. And then let the back of the hands drop towards the mat, opening the front of the chest. Your blocks could be under forearms here, so that's an option. Or you could have your arms hanging without the support. You're going to feel the opening across the front of your chest. And we'll hang here for a few minutes, letting the arms move downwards with gravity, opening the front of the chest. And again, using the support of blocks, pillows, blankets, whatever you need. One more breath here. And then bring the hands back up towards the ceiling. Lower them down to your sides. Palms up, hands about 30 degrees away from your body. And gently close the eyes. Press into the back of your right hand and move the right shoulder blade down. Press into the back of the left hand and move the left shoulder blade down. And let the shoulders drop downwards off the bolster or the support beneath you. Let the legs roll outward and be heavy. Let your belly go soft. Lengthen the back of your neck and tuck your chin slightly. And bring that inner gaze towards your heart center. And we'll just let everything be here, supported and in silence for the next 2 minutes, or longer if you wish. Slowly bring your awareness back into your body. Bend one leg at a time so your feet are flat on the mat. Gently rock the knees a little bit side to side. And let your knees fall all the way to the right, rolling off your props, coming onto your side. And then with gentleness and ease, keeping the gaze soft, press up into sitting. Bring the palms together in front of your heart. Take a nice, slow, full, deep breath in. And a soft, gentle exhale. Join me for one soft to close the class. Inhaling. Exhaling, bow your head. Take a moment of gratitude for the practice that you gave yourself today. Inhaling, lift your head, release your hands, and gently open the eyes. Thank you for sharing your yoga practice with me today. Namaste.